Darren.
Darren, just what's it like, taking over in this role this year, working with JD and everything?
I think anytime you get a chance to be at the ground level with a new chapter of such a historic program, I think it's a really cool place to be, and the trust that JD's put into me and the rest of the staff to kind of build onto the history that's here is really an awesome situation to be in.
Yeah, among the players you've been working with, especially the younger guys, what have been some of the players who stood out the most?
I think you look at our offense, and our goal is to have a dynamic type of offense with a lot of different ways that we can beat another team. So obviously Blake Sear had an incredible year last year, and he's been really impressive over the course of our 6 months here since coming out last summer. Daniel Cuvée and Antonio Jimenez were two younger guys who I think they have all the potential in the world to offer some different aspects to our offense, whether it be power, whether it be speed. And then you have some guys who have been here who we're going to rely upon quite a bit, whether it be a catcher like Carlos Perez or Dorian Gonzalez, and then JD Urso, who is a graduate transfer from Tampa. Hopefully will be that veteran presence that we need to kind of stabilize both what we're doing defensively as well as offensively.
And JD's talked very highly of Daniel Cuvée, obviously kind of a highly touted freshman. Just what have you seen from him? What kind of sets him apart from other freshmen that you've seen?
I think the first thing that you notice out of Daniel is the power. He has the potential to really hit any pitch out of the ballpark to all fields, which is a very difficult thing to do. But with that said, we have to remember that this is still a kid. He's still a freshman that is going to make freshman mistakes, and I think he has the aptitude where he's going to be able to learn from those mistakes. And his development since last August has been pretty impressive. And then now that we're going to start getting some real game experience here, his ability to make adjustments game to game, at bat to at bat, and even in some cases pitch to pitch, will really kind of set himself up to be pretty good.
JD kind of describes this thing as younger guy. What have you seen from these guys the last few months?
I think that's probably a good way to put it. Like I mentioned previously, like we need to find different ways that we're going to be able to score runs. I know the team last year relied on power quite a bit. We're not going to solely rely on that. We'll have guys who hit the ball to the ballpark, but we're going to need to be able to essentially, some games we might need to single the team to death. Some games it might be finding a way on base without hitting much. It's having productive outs. It's running the bases really aggressively and making smart decisions. So I think the combination of all those different elements, and with certain players having different strengths and certain players having other strengths, I think when you think about our roster of hitters, and not just 1 through 9, like we have I think 17 hitters right now. Each guy brings something to the table, and having them play to their own strengths, I think, makes us a pretty dynamic offense that can score in a lot of different ways.
Coach, you spent the last few years with the Austin Red Sox to come to this new job. What can you bring? What did you learn from working with that organization to this job?
Yeah, I don't think there's any secret sauce, whether it be in college baseball, professional baseball. I think the way that you get better is that you work with some focus and you work with some purpose. So the way that our players are going to get better here is no different than the way that we would get players better to become major leaguers with the Red Sox. And so I think in terms of what I've brought here, I've brought that type of detailed work and holding guys to a high standard of focus and purpose behind what they do. Because I think every single guy here, hitter or pitcher, every single guy wants to be a professional by the time that they're done here. And between both myself and Laz coming over from the Red Sox in the last decade plus in professional baseball, I think we're taking that experience of teaching guys how to be professionals, how to work like a professional, meaning like getting something out of every day, getting something out of every rep, and bringing that into the college environment where the talent is not far off from what we were working with in the minor leagues. But here, our focus, our goals, I should say, are to win games. Where in the minor leagues, the focus is on developing, and here we're going to blend those two things. If we get better, we will win games, and we're kind of putting those things together, and we have been since August.
Anything else for Darren? Awesome. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, guys.
I'm Adam.